today we're going to look at something completely different. We're going to look at Malian music. Now, the demographic is completely different. So, Mali, you have the Mande Empire, okay, Mande, Mande, and it's a completely different language group, completely different ethnic group, so completely different musical style, as you would probably imagine. I think the Malian Empire ran until something like maybe the 1500s, something like that. The first emperor is called Sundiata Keita, and if you look on the map and you see West Africa, to the west of Mali you have Senegal, then below that you have Gambia and Guinea-Bissau and Guinea-Conakry, and as you travel then across back east you've got Ivory Coast, and you've got Burkina Faso as well. And the Manding Empire spanned all of this area at one point in time. There's a lot of Mandinka influence, and you've got different Mandinka tribes, sometimes with slightly different names in these countries. So in Mali, it's the Bambara, okay? So in Senegal, they call themselves Mandinka or Source sometimes. In Ivory Coast, it's Jula, not to be confused with the Jola in the south of Senegal. This is Jula. And they speak very, very slightly different dialects of the same Mandinka Bambara language. So we're going to look at an artist from Mali called Habib Kouyaté. Okay, I'll spell that second name. It's Koite, Habib Kouyaté. Habib Kouyaté is the guitarist and lead singer and composer. So, in a sort of huge contrast to all of the other stars we've looked at, this is, we've got acoustic, we've got percussion, which is not like the kind of sort of full kit that we see with some of the Congolese styles. They're not electric guitars, they're acoustic guitars. There's two guitars there, and they're both playing acoustic or semi-acoustic guitars. You've got electric bass, and then you've got balafon. Cool. So the first thing that I find really interesting about this song is we've got this. You could probably write it in 3/4. It's like 1 2 3 1 2 3. But the clave is going over the top of that. It's going like ba 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 ba, which it's kind of like it's got the beat and then it's bouncing off the beat, and it's interesting. So you just try and clap that with me. So get your foot tapping on the 1 2 3 1 2 3, and it's ba 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 ba, and 1 ba 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 ba. You got that? And last time. So you can feel that equivalent. There it is. 2 3 ba 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 ba. Cool. Just like in this example where they're playing a D minor, then they want to play it. Basically, it's A minor but with an E in the bass. And the way you can figure that out is if you try and play along to it. If you think, oh, it sounds like E minor, try and put it in the fifth of B. You'll hear that's not the correct fifth. So then you know that E you're hearing is not the root. It's another note of the chord. And in this part, it's the fifth because it's A. So we've got D minor, A with an E in the bass, C major, and then D minor again. Once more, D minor, A with an E in the bass, C major, and D minor. Okay. D, A, A, C, C, A, A, C, A, 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 D, A C C, A C, A D, do 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 do. The pulse is going da da dun da 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 dun da da dun da da. It's kind of like a da 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 da. That's the way I feel it, to get those notes in. Ba ba bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba ba bum ba ba bum bum. And what's very interesting is there's a little guitar lick that takes you out of the intro. The guitar lick's doing the same thing, and then it goes ding, 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 ding. And you kind of, if you're playing with bands, if you're not familiar with the material, or you're playing with singers you don't know, you've got to get used to listening to those melody instruments, because okay, we've got that's our chords, A minor, C. So if a melody instrument was to play a D, okay, that D is not going to fit so well over the C or the A minor. So we can kind of, maybe our ears can guess when it lands there, that's when we move our chord progression to D minor, okay? It's like that's the cue. In Mali, they often, not always, there's many variations of how it's done, but would use the third mode of that pentatonic scale. So instead of, we keep our same notes, A, C, D, E, G, A, yep, and the same notes above, but instead of starting on an A and rooting around the A, we root around the D. So we still have, but we're centered there. What that means, we're resolving here, we're landing on D, but our first interval is that D to E is only a tone. It's not like our free fretted pentatonic scale, okay, that we use a lot in blues. So that's what sounds really interesting, because we're you've got that same scale, but it's always dun, 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 or it might be here, and then we always want to lead back to the D, and it rests. Put that back on, and you can just sort of experiment with that harmony. That's a scale.